Chapter 11. The Price of Power. She could feel it now, the power, the weight of it pressing against her, filling her with something dark, something ancient. It surged through her veins, wrapping itself around her mind, pulling at the deepest parts of her soul. In the distance, the figure continued to beckon her, its long limbs twisting unnaturally, as if the shadows themselves were forming its shape. It wasn't human. It was the hollow itself, alive and hungry. As Emma drew closer to the town, she saw the faces of the villagers no longer human, but twisted into horrific shapes. Their eyes were hollow, their skin pale and stretched. They were the hollow's servants, creatures of the curse, and they turned to face her, their mouths twisted into grotesque smiles. "You have returned," one of them whispered. "The hollow calls to you. You are its chosen." The words echoed in Emma's mind. She didn't understand. She had been trying to stop this, to end it, but all she had done was set it free. The figure at the center of the village raised its hands, and the ground trembled beneath her feet. The trees shook, their branches now turning into skeletal hands, reaching for the sky. The wind howled, carrying with it the cries of those who had been consumed by the hollow. Emma's legs felt like lead, her body moving of its own accord toward the center of the village, where the figure stood waiting. The hollow had chosen her. It had been waiting for her bloodline to return. She could feel the weight of it in every breath she took, every step she made. She reached the center of the village, and the figure was before her. Its eyes, black and endless, stared down at her. "You have awakened the hunger, Emma," it said, its voice low and rasping. "And now, you will feed it. Your soul, your blood, will sustain the hollow for eternity." Emma felt her body tremble. This was it. The choice she had made. The hollow would consume everything. It was no longer a question of whether she could stop it. It had already spread, it had already begun. There was no going back. But there was one thing Emma had not realized. She wasn't just a part of the hollow. She could control it. Her eyes widened as she felt the power surge within her, as if the hollow was giving her a choice, one last chance to make things right. If she could master the power it had granted her, she could end this madness. She could return the curse to the earth, lock it away again. But it would come at a cost. The figure smiled. "You think you can stop it? It has already begun. The hollow will not be denied. And you, Emma, will be its vessel." But Emma didn't listen. She clenched her fists, feeling the power surge through her body, the darkness mixing with the remnants of her own will. She would end this, no matter the cost. With a scream, she summoned all her strength, her power, and sent it toward the ground. The earth cracked open, and from the depths, she could feel the hollow's essence pushing back against her. It was like fighting a storm, trying to control the wind, trying to stop the tide. But Emma wouldn't stop. She couldn't. The earth trembled, and the figure screeched in pain as Emma forced the hollow back into the deep, into the dark earth where it belonged. She could feel it fighting, clawing at her, but she held on, her mind focused, her will unwavering. And then, just as it seemed the hollow would swallow her whole, the ground beneath her feet split open, and she was pulled into the darkness.